Hey everyone, in this video we're going to answer who I am and what I do as if you're a complete stranger. I'm going to move quickly and make it concise. So, who am I? My name is Casey Redbeard. I make dating and red pill content on Instagram and YouTube. I have networked and collaborated with all the top people in my industry. I get amazing results for myself, but even more importantly, I get amazing results for my clients as well. So that's kind of like what I do, or who I am. Sorry. What do I do is I put the lead generation aspect of dating on autopilot for busy men. The lead generation aspect of dating on autopilot. If you're a business owner, you already know what lead generation is. If you're not a business owner, it basically just means setting up more potential clients, more potential girls, like the meeting the girl aspect of dating, right? Like how do you just meet more women to eventually go on a date with you? I do this via AI, automations, and sometimes even a virtual assistant. The whole thing is about being systematized, autopilot for busy men to save time. More specifically, how I do it is I build you what I call a high status social media profile. More on that later, but it's basically a social media profile that's attractive to women. And then I make that profile explode with an Instagram notifications tab that looks like this. So every day, my VA, that's a virtual assistant, follows about 20 women, and on average, about 7 of them follow back. As you can see here, these are not your little hometown little sixes. These are super beautiful girls. I know the photos are tiny, but you can see there. And by getting the girl to follow me back first, I can then send them a message, go straight to their inbox. They'll get a push notification. My message will not land in the hidden request folder of doom, but they will 100% read it. Now, successful dating involves 2 things. One, getting a girl to go on a date with you. And then 2, knowing how to be charming and charismatic on the date. By the way, why do I use Instagram instead of dating apps? Like, why was this all dating app Instagram screenshots, not dating apps? We'll go over that in a second too. But the 2 things, you got to get a girl to go on a date with you, and then you got to know how to behave in a charming way on the date. Now, what the other guys teach, the other dating coaches, if you've got a guy like, let's say Todd V, good friend of mine, or Owen Cook, also a good friend of mine, or pretty much any other dating coach, they just focus on how to be charming and confident once the girl's already standing in front of you. So once you're at the dinner table, sharing a plate of carbonara and some wine with the girl, how do you be charismatic and charming and flirtatious with her? And that's very valuable. I'm not like poo-pooing their stuff, but what I focus on is the lead generation aspect of dating, aka how do you get the girl to be sitting across from the dinner table drinking wine with you in the first place, okay? So while they focus more on the confidence and charm aspect, I'm more on the lead generation thing. And even if you're that guy that's lacking in the confidence department, your vibe, your charm, your confidence, etc., will naturally autocorrect over time by running a lot of volume. So some of you guys, you're already good on dates. You don't really need training or help on that. That's cool. But for the guys who do lack the confidence, I promise you, if you went on 2 to 3 dates a week, every single week for 6 months, do you think you'd get nervous anymore, stuck inside your head, run out of things to say, kind of like get nervous and drop the ball? Of course you wouldn't, because you'd have abundance and you just have so many reps of practice. But I can also teach the confidence and charisma game. But my forte, like I said, is a lead generation thing. And even though I'm outside the US, just a quick aside, this system works both domestically and abroad. This is not only like a passport bro thing. So how does this system work? Well, like I was saying earlier, the key is what I call the high status social media profile plus volume assisted with AI and automation, the whole thing copy and paste systematized. So again, a high status social media profile plus volume. So let's go into those, each of those a bit deeper. So what is this high status social media profile that I keep referring to? A high status social media profile is one that does the work for you in terms of attracting women. She takes one look at your profile, like, who is this new guy who followed me on Instagram? Who is this dude? Or even on a dating app. I don't use dating apps a lot, but some dating apps, but mostly on Instagram. Why is he on a podcast? Why is he giving a speech in a seminar room dressed to the gills in front of other cool, rich looking entrepreneurs? Why is he hanging out at mansions with cool friends and this ultra handsome, red bearded guy right here? Again, at a mansion, showing off his physique. This high status profile, like I said, it does the work for you. Women will naturally chase, and it just makes your whole life a lot easier, because who presents themselves on social media? Do any of your friends or guys have really cool photos that display themselves as confident? I mean, like, let's go. What does a girl think when she sees this? Confident, successful, rich, social. He's got a good physique, so good looking. all the types of things that a woman is looking for. Now, a couple of things you may be thinking, right? Now that we've defined what I mean by like the high status, social media profile is why Instagram, okay? We alluded this a bit before. Why Instagram? Why don't we just use dating apps around here? Why do myself and all my clients just use Instagram? What if you're not a Chad? I mean, Kavian is my client. He's a really good looking dude, right? I'm not, super terrible looking myself. I'm definitely above average. But what if you're not a Chad? Will this work? How do you find these girls on Instagram in the first place? I'm telling you to get off dating apps, but how do you find like all the hot girls in your area on Instagram to even begin with? And then what do you say to get them on a date? Well, I have answers to these. I have automations, systems, AI to help with all of these, put the whole process, the entire lead generation aspect of dating on autopilot for you. I can't go on the date for you, at least not yet, but until we get VR helmets or something and I could like act like you in the VR AI system, that's where it's going. But you have to go on the date, but I can help automate the entire process of at least getting the girl to the dinner table for you. So key lesson number one, dating apps are trash. So if you use dating apps in the past and you didn't get good results, you didn't get a lot of matches, the girls were flaky, you're not alone. Why are dating apps trash? 8-to-1 ratio of men to women, low quality personalities, flaky, like they're just there for attention, they're just there to use men. Most of them aren't there to actually go on a date, they just want to be entertained by a guy. And you have to match with the girl before you can message them. So all these hot, beautiful girls that you see on the dating apps that most of them don't match with, you can actually just contact whoever you want on Instagram. And like I just said here, Instagram solves all of these problems, the ratio, the flaking. Instagram solves all of them, okay? So to start with, you have a 1-to-1 ratio of men to women. You don't have an 8-to-1 ratio. They have higher quality personalities. Girls, again, there's some diamonds in the rough. I still use some dating apps, but for the most part, they're flaky. They're like perpetual, like serial daters, validation chasers. There's just not really good quality personalities. You don't typically meet high quality women on dating apps. Women on Instagram are less flaky, especially if you can find girls with private profiles, which I'll show you how to do that. And you can message whoever you want. That's the best part here. So like I said, you don't need to match with them. There's no algorithm built by nerds keeping you from matching the hot girls that you want, okay? On Instagram, you can just message whoever you want. You don't need to match with them first, which means you'll get hotter girls there. Key lesson number two, if you're thinking like, well, what if I'm not a Chad? Will this work for me? Is that status is greater than looks, but you do have to be what I call a universal 6. So if you're thinking like, do I have to be a Chad or what's this? Do I have to be super good looking? Yes and no. You have to be what I call a universal 6 to be considered at least an 8 to some women. So look at these girls here. We have the big booty Latina. We have the super skinny Swedish Norwegian girl. We have the black girl with braids. I think this is disgusting. I think this is like pretty, but not my forte. And this is gorgeous to me. Some guys think like, ew, she's fat, way too much ass. I want the skinny girl. The same way that men's tastes vary a lot, so do women's. So you have to be at least what I call a universal 6. You can't be super dramatically, overweight, unkempt, unshowered, disgusting guy. But if you can at least, be in shape, take care of yourself, groom yourself well, dress well, present a good presentation on social media, and just be what I call a universal 6, then you'll be an 8 to some women. Just like, this is a 10 to some guys. This is a 10 to some guys. And this is a 10 to some guys. But for some guys, not so much, right? So if you are, grotesquely overweight, you're going to have to go to a foreign country or use money to attract women, which I really, really don't recommend leading with money. Probably just a disaster. So if you're just, massively obese and overweight, I probably can't help you until you lose some weight. Now, here's something I want to talk about getting the high status photography. The reason why, if you've tried dating apps in the past and they haven't worked, or certainly if you've even tried a little bit of Instagram, none of you guys have done with the AI, the automations, the systems that we have. But if you've tried this in the past and it hasn't worked, the reason is because you're doing what I call the camera roll method. So 9 out of 10 of you guys watching this video have what I call a camera roll profile, which means just what it sounds like. The photos you have are just the normal photos that were lying around your camera roll. They weren't taken with intention from the beginning of where you're going to go. Now, contrast that with planning every photo with meticulous detail, the location, the fashion, the posing, the time of day, etc. And this is what you can get with that. Notice how everything, the environment, the angles, the lighting, what I'm doing, like again, showing high status, being on a podcast, being in luxurious rooftop lounges, at a dinner table with a big group of cool looking friends and some beautiful girls, the all important speech photo. That is the attractive profile. That is a profile that means that, you follow 20 women and, 8 out of 10, 6 out of 10, even fuck it, even 3 out of 10 at least, follow back, and you run a lot of volume, which we'll talk about more with some automation, some other stuff. But here's some more examples of like, guys' camera roll profiles versus photos that were intentionally planned from day one. Here's Kavian again. I mean, which one do you think girls would vote for as like, the more handsome version of Kavian? This one where he looks like a dork, no offense, Kavian, or this one where he looks like a fucking boss? So we talked about the high status profile. The next step is volume. You might be thinking, how do I even find these girls' profiles to begin with? So let me exit out of my presentation for a second. This is an example lead list. I won't name the city because it doesn't really matter, but we look for rooftop lounges, restaurants, beauty salons, hair salons, nail salons, sorority pages for like, college kids, whatever it is. And we can literally download a list of all the girls that follow those pages. Now, not every girl is like beautiful, but you see there are definitely some beautiful girls. And if you can't find, I don't know, say, yeah, your 15 to 20 girls to follow every single day. If you haven't found at least 5 or 6 or 7 beautiful girls in here as we've been scrolling through this for, the last 20 seconds, then you may be a homosexual. And this may not be for you. Not there's anything wrong with being a homosexual, but this service may not be for you. I tend to work more with heterosexual men. Okay, again, I know not all of them are hot, but you get the point. We can do this in any city: Tampa, Seattle, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Memphis, Tennessee. We can do this in any city. We can get you a list of all the hotties that live in your city, taking out a massive amount of time from that for you. Okay. Now this begs the next question: what do I say to them once I match with them on a match? By the way, on Instagram is when you follow the girl and she follows you back, right? That means that she liked what she saw. She liked the status. She thought you were an attractive man. So now I'm going to exit out once again, and I'm going to make this part pretty quick. But I have a complete copy and paste text messages database, complete with openers for Instagram and dating apps, complete with my little go-to conversation helpers. Would you believe that just telling a girl that's giving boring one-word answers, if you say sometimes, hey, Tiffany, it kind of feels like an interview, one-way interview. Do you have any questions for me? Sometimes they just open up. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. Why are you here in Brazil? And how did you learn Portuguese? Are you staying here for a long time? Are you just passing through? And what are you looking for? Do you want something serious? I'm like, holy shit. Like, I thought it was a low-interest girl, about to cut her off, but now I realize she's actually high interest. I have questions that are light and interesting, like flirtatious questions that don't, require too much investment on the girl's part for the early stages. I have questions for the middle stages. I have ways to reinitiate the conversation after a break, screening questions, what to say when they leave you on red. This is a full copy and paste system. So for you guys who are busy entrepreneurs, maybe your hourly rate is, $200 an hour, $300 an hour, and you spend 10 hours a week texting girls. By following this step by step, from opener to building rapport to some thought-provoking questions to check their response rate and filter out the time wasters, to then getting that from Instagram to a phone number, to then setting up a date or a video call, what to do when they leave you on red, what to do after a break in the conversation, every single thing here, your go-to conversation helpers, it's all here in a strict copy and paste format. We can take you from 10 hours a week texting girls down to 4 or something. Like, we can take out 50 to 60% more. And when this really gets crazy is when you have a virtual assistant running this for you. It's a very, very advanced thing. I don't have time to talk about that right now, but that is when this automation thing is on like crazy. Like, your VA knows what to say. He knows what type of girls you like. He has his lead list, and the whole thing is running along like crazy. And look, if you make, I don't know, if your hourly rate's, $300 an hour, you're a successful entrepreneur, and we save you 6 hours a week. We just saved you $1,800 a week, which is close to what, like, $7,000, $8,000 a month, something like that. If you like this, if you like what you saw, you made it to the end. If you want me to set up the system for you, if you want me to put the lead generation aspect of dating on autopilot for you, we're probably already talking on my Instagram, which is Redbeard Rants 1. If not, if we're not talking there, there'll be a link to my Instagram in the description of this video. Just message me the word wolf. It's kind of a funny keyword I use. Just message me the word wolf, and that lets me know that you watched this to the very end, that you liked what you saw, and you're interested in having my team and I put the lead generation aspect of dating on autopilot for you using all the systems that we talked about in this video. Thanks for watching. Hope to hear back from you. Cheers.